Everyone, how are you all doing? Yɛkyeakyea mo nyinaa, yɛadɔfo ne yɛtiefo mo a mohwɛ ɛwɔ Sam's Corner wɔ akyirikyiri ne bɛnkyɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ Nyame adom obiara ɛho yɛ. Again, this is Sam's Corner. My name is Sam. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you best subscribe to channel no. Na also share akyerɛ obi. Na afei video bi a post biara no. Wahwɛ na like it. Now the channel also grows. And don't forget to also hit the notification button that when we post a video, you'll be also first to watch it. Yes, hit the notification button. And also make sure our comment section. Make sure to drop a chat or two or even a feedback in the comment section. Thank you all for joining once again. Today I have with me my brother Nesta, and we are going to be talking about the first round match day one matches of the UEFA Champions League. We are going to be breaking it down, some of the matches, and discussing how the overall match day one went, and also a couple of games that is coming over the weekend. So stay with us, and you won't want to miss this episode. I have my man Nesta here. Manchester United, talk to us nice. 10 goals in 2 games. Yo, yeah, twaso. Start with the first round of Champions League games this midweek, which started on Tuesday with the new format. It's no more 2 days, it's 3 days now. More games for us football fans.
Yep.
But the players, some of them have already started complaining about the amount of games they play a year. So
Yeah.
quickly, I'll go over some of the scores and then we talk about some of the games since there's a lot of
Okay.
them. Yeah, not every team is up there that much. So, first game, Young Boys, Aston Villa. Actually, we talk about this game because Aston Villa as the new boys winning first game of their Champions League campaign. Real Madrid as well. We talk about Bayern setting a record. We talk about Juventus a little bit. So Sporting winning 2-0 against Lusk. Milan and Liverpool, we come to that 3-1. Bologna, Shakhtar still made 0-0. Sparta, Salzburg. Sparta beating Salzburg 3-0, which was surprising to me because that was
Very,
a
very.
surprising scoreline.
Yeah.
Uh, PSG 1-0 against Girona. I think most
PSG.
people thought that would have been more goals than that, but Girona is proving last season that they are not a team to just walk over.
Yeah.
Celtic 5-1 against Bratislava.
Bratislava. Slovan
Uh,
Bratislava. Yeah, I think they're from Slovakia.
Slovakia, right? Okay.
hmm
We have City and Inter 0-0. Yeah, we talk about that game a little bit. So quickly, as Crevena says, what's the name of that team again? The English
That's
name.
that's
That's
um
Red Star
Red
Belgrade.
Star Red Star Belgrade.
Yes, Red
Apparently
Star
it's
Belgrade losing at
so
home 1 to
yeah.
2. Uh, Brest today won against Stormgrass, and Brest also like Aston Villa being kind of new to the Champions League and winning their first game. Atlanta and Arsenal 0-0. Atletico Madrid 2-1. Monaco 2 winning against Barcelona 2-1, which arguably you can say the red card played a factor in that game. But
A huge factor.
let's start with I want us to start with Bayern and Dynamo Zagreb. I mean, on paper, everybody expected Bayern to win, and at some point in time, when the game was 3-0 and it became 3-2,
3-2.
I was like, okay, I think we got ourselves a game. And then with about I think 10 minutes or so to go, 10 minutes or so, yeah, plus additional time, Bayern just ran riot with it. What did you think of Hurricanes' performance and Bayern breaking that record?
A couple of things. Bayern at Alliance Arena against the small teams in Champions League, they will annihilate you if they get the chance. And obviously, this game, it was Company's first Champions League game. I think that he had a press conference before the game where he was complaining, basically complaining that people keep undermining him. If he's up for the job. And I think I mentioned here before that personally, I'm happy for him because he's one of the first black people, one of the only black coaches to be coaching top tier teams. So,
Yeah.
um, like I mentioned, at some point the game was 3-2, but then Bayern got a few like penalty kicks, which I'm not saying they were not penalty kicks, but they were penalties, and it did help. It did help, and also I mentioned that Champions League, um, if you lose concentration, you get punished, and I think that's what happened towards the end of the game. Dynamo Zagreb probably got tired. They probably thought, oh, we are still in the game, 3-2, we are still in the game, we can manage, and then lost concentration, and then Bayern punished them. So um, I wasn't surprised that they won. I was surprised at the scoreline. Vincent Company basically has launched himself. He's totally ready to set up and watch Bayern. Whether it's a fluke or whether or whether he's a fluke or he's a genius, we are just about to find out. So um, that game kind of brought back memories of the 8-2 against Barcelona, but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I think when Bayern is on form or when they are, one thing about them is they don't stop scoring. They don't know how to stop until the game is over. So let's
Yeah,
see.
I think
I'm happy for
I
Company. I felt the job was too big for him. Being, I mean, not as a person, but as a coach. I thought it was too big.
it's so it's true, right?
Mhm.
But I think he had a couple of things in his favor. One of them was the fact that this wasn't his first well, it's his first top team experience, but it's not his first time coaching a team that is playing like senior level football, like so to speak. Pep Guardiola, when he started with like Barca B for one season. Barca B was in the third tier at the time. Actually, they were not in the second division. They were not in Segunda. They were in the third tier, and then he got promoted. He won the title, and then Barca promoted him to the first team, and then we know what happened. Um, Perlo Juventus promoted him, and then that didn't go so well. So Company had experience with Anderlecht. He went to Burnley, won the championship, and then he spent a season in EPL. Even though he took them back to relegation, the type of football that he wanted to play, unfortunately, Burnley wasn't the team to play that football with. Um, Also, going into Bayern, Bayern had recruited well this summer. They've gotten rid of some problematic players. They got rid of like Matthias Delight. They got rid of Mazraoui. They basically told Neuer and Mola that you guys are the senior guys. You guys have to help this coach because we can't find a coach like Tuchel. Tuchel doesn't want to renew his contract because we told him he was going to leave, and then they did a 360. And Tuchel is that okay? You guys told me I'm leaving, so I'm going to leave. And no top coach wanted the job, so
Yeah.
they looked at Company, and Company bought Olise. He's
That's
probably
a great addition.
reinvented Sani, right? That was a great addition. And Hurricane, we know Hurricane. He scores goals.
Yeah.
And Company hasn't been the captain at City for so long. He's captain players like Aguero, David Silva, all those guys. So he has character. He has character to lead this new Bayern project. So, and like I said, if it's a fluke, we'll find out. If
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 it's
he's
not,
a real deal, we will find out. But personally, I really hope he's the real deal because I love Company. I love him as a player, and I really want to see him progress as a coach.
well, deep within me, I don't want him because he's a city. He's a Manchester City. All right. Aston Villa. Were you surprised going away and
Um,
winning 3-0?
I wasn't surprised that they won. I was surprised that they won 3-0. But then again, Aston Villa has recruited well. They recruited this summer with the Champions League in mind. Um, their coach Unai Emery, he has a
Naomi,
lot of European experience.
very, very
Even
experienced coach.
even if it wasn't the best with PSG, he still has a lot of European experience playing in the Europa League. So he understands that in the Champions League or in Europe, when you meet the underdogs, and beat them well. He understands that concept, and I think that is what they did. They went there, did a professional job, won 3-0, and they have their 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. I think his experience really counted big in terms of how the players went. And I watched 15 minutes of that game, and before they scored the third goal, I could see that their confidence level, they were not shying away from the moment. So he
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
he really had a big. And Aston Villa, I think, have won Champions League before, if I'm not
Yes, I think it
the
was
old
1982 or
European.
1983. Yeah, yep.
Yes.
Hmm.
So welcome back to the Champions League, Aston Villa, and
Yeah,
good luck with Unai Emery. Especially, I want the English teams to go further. Always it gets to the quarters and the eight, and it's all the Spanish teams, and the English teams are nowhere to be found except for Man City these days. I feel I want the
yeah.
English teams to progress. Progress.
Is the number of games that the teams play. You know, in England they have the FA Cup, they have
Carabao
the
Cup.
League Cup, yeah, the Carabao Cup, and then obviously EPL,
Yeah.
and that's additional. I think 15 games to
Mhm.
to their season. And English Premier League is fast paced, so sometimes towards the middle of the season, toward the end of the season, the teams they start to fall apart. And you will see Aston Villa, as they begin to play more Champions League games and play in the in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, you'll see that their form will be like their form might not be the best, but once again they've recruited well.
I think
It seems like they have a backup for every position on the field,
I think that's
and
what
I think
happened
that's
to Newcastle last season. They
right,
started the
right,
season
right.
great,
Hmm.
even in the Champions League, and they had some injuries. Yeah, the
Hmm.
amount of games. Yeah. The next game, Madrid, unconvincingly. I'm saying unconvincingly because I still think the caliber of players Madrid has, and the core of that team with most the back, the four at the back, and a couple of the midfielders haven't been there for a while. I think the integration of Mbappe is still a bit behind, not there yet. 3-1 victory, but unconvincingly. Because
So Madrid.
I
Hmm.
think Stuttgart had opportunities when the game was
Yep.
2-1, even to
Hmm.
tie it. What do you think?
So Madrid, first of all, they are suffering a lot of injuries. They have a lot of players that are out injured. Also, they've lost Tony Cruz, who was their chief conductor, chief moderator. You know, he had the experience to control the midfield, to control the tempo of the game. He's not there anymore. Tramini is a great player, but he's still young. He's still trying to figure out how he can make that midfield his own. Um, Fede Valverde, he's not your typical midfielder. He's a box to box midfielder, so he's not a controller. Um, Jude just came back from injury, and with Mbappe, I mentioned before that Mbappe is not your typical number nine. You know, in 2018 when France won the World Cup, he played off of Giroud. Everybody was making fun of Giroud that he didn't score a goal, and you know he's the first striker to go through a tournament without scoring a goal, and he won it. But like it was working, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
Mbappe
Mm-hmm.
playing off of him, it was working. In Madrid, they need him to be a number nine because Vinicius is on the left wing, Rodrigo is on the right wing,
Okay.
and
So let me ask you
Bellingham is.
this. What do you think going forward? Should one of them be benched? Vinicius
I've,
and Mbappe.
no, I've heard rumors that Ancelotti is playing or toiling with the idea of switching to a 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield. And remember, I think I mentioned the diamond midfield before. You know, it's probably going to be Tramini as the holding midfielder, Valverde to his right, um, Bellingham to his left. Probably going to move um, either Vinicius or Rodriguez to like the number 10 role, and then and then there'll be the two top. So if Rodriguez becomes the number 10, then the two top guys, the 4-4-2, the two top guys will be like Vinicius and Vinicius, and so what I'm saying is that Ancelotti is still trying to figure it out. Like remember, in Erling Haaland's first season at Manchester City, City was still scoring goals, but Guardiola has still not figured out how to integrate him into the team. And I listened to a lot of articles, I listened to a lot of commentators, and all they said is that when they do figure that out, they're going to be unstoppable. And you remember towards the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, they figured it out. He scored 36 goals or something like that, and then they won the treble. So I think even though I'm a Barca fan and I don't want Madrid to do well, I think Ancelotti will figure it out. I think as they continue to play, they'll figure it out. Also, Madrid. I mentioned before that Madrid knows how to stay in games.
Yeah.
Madrid knows how to stay in games. They know how to suffer, and that is very important for Champions League. And I know we will meet multiple times in this Champions League season, and that will keep coming up. In the first half, Stuttgart had 56% possession.
Yes.
But right after they came back from the break, who scored? Madrid.
Madrid.
And Stuttgart equalized. Madrid still won the game 3-1. Madrid knows how to suffer. They know how to stay in games. And in this new format, is going to be something that they really rely on. They have the experience. They're the kings of the Champions League. So I was telling my friends, they kept saying, "Oh, wow, Stuttgart is doing well," and I told them, "Don't worry, Madrid is going to win." And true, like Madrid won. Even though I didn't want them to win, I just knew that Madrid would beat them. But Madrid they always start the season slow. It's something that it kind of goes on for a longer time. But then as the season progresses, as they bring players back from injury, they continue to figure things out. And I think I think Mbappe will probably find more joy in the Champions League than in La Liga. La Liga is very technical,
Yeah.
and I think he's starting to see that. French Ligue 1 wasn't as technical. He could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, he
La
could
Liga
get
is
away with
technical.
everything.
Every team in La Liga knows how to play, and I keep telling people this. Every team in La Liga knows how to play. That is why they have been in 22 finals. They've won all 22 finals.
Yep.
That is the reason why La Liga teams keep winning
Yep.
because they are technical. Everybody knows how to play.
Very.
So honestly, it wasn't a surprise that Madrid won.
Mhm.
But I think time will tell. Time will tell. But I still tip Madrid as the favorites. Madrid and City, I still tip them as the favorites.
So before we move on to the next game, I agree with you on and I hope they figure it out real quick. Cause aside Man United, my next team is Madrid. I love Madrid, and everywhere Ronaldo
Every
goes.
Manchester United fan likes Madrid.
There
Hey,
was
I
an
don't blame you
incident.
guys. Barca beat you guys in 2009 and 2011, so I understand
Don't
the
remind
hatred.
me of that games, man. I didn't eat. I did, especially the 2011 when David Villa toyed with us. I didn't eat. Was it? Ah, that boy. That he was on fire. David Villa was on fire,
Yeah.
and
Before, it's one of the finals that it's funny because and this is real quick, but a quick story. I That's when I had just joined the Navy. I was in basic training, so I didn't get to watch the semifinals where they beat Madrid. That like Messi goal. He dribbled all the players and scored. But I remember we had a chance to make a phone call, and I called my brother, and I'm like, "Hey, how is Barca doing?" I'm in boot camp. I don't get to talk to family, and when I call, the first thing I ask about is how is Barca doing,
said to me
and it's like, "Oh, we just beat Shakhtar the next because they beat Shakhtar in the
in the
quarterfinals,"
quarterfinals.
and
Yeah.
he said we beat Madrid 2-0 at the Bernabeu, so we're probably going to beat them at Camp Nou. So Barca is probably going to go to the finals. And I was like, okay, if they go to the finals, like what team are they going to meet? And he's like, it's probably going to be Manchester United. And I was like, okay, don't worry, we'll beat them. So
Ah,
we left boot camp. We left boot camp a Friday night. We got to Texas. Boot camp was in Chicago. We got to Texas a Saturday. I think the following weekend was the finals, and I got to watch it. And even when United scored that 1-1, even when Rooney scored that one, I wasn't worried. It's one of the Barca games that I watched that I wasn't worried that we were going to win. Like that, the distance in quality between the two teams, I had no worry. You guys probably had a better chance in 2009 than
2009
2011.
was when I had like I had it in us that we were going to win because we had the better team 2009. I think
Hmm
prior to that
hmm
we had beaten Barca in 2000 I think seven or seven,
2008.
eight, eight on our way to win it,
2008. Yep.
and we
Paul
still
Scholes.
had a good team.
I
So
remember
I thought we were gonna beat you guys in the finals, especially with us coming out so great in the first
in
15
the
minutes.
first 10 minutes. Yep.
And then,
Hmm.
okay, let's move on. I don't want to bring back old scars because that game hurts, man. Those 2 seasons. That's why I don't even like Barcelona because of.
Trust me, all the English teams except City don't like Barca
But you know, for
because
some reason, when Mourinho took over Chelsea and you guys had that period of rivalry where they kept meeting Barcelona, and for some reason I was cheering for Barcelona to beat Chelsea. And as much as I don't like Barcelona, Chelsea, oh my goodness. The way Ghanaians trooped all to that bandwagon to join Chelsea because of ACN, it was
Chelsea, yeah, because
annoying
of
because I was
ACN.
still
Yep.
in Ghana. So everywhere you went, everybody's like, oh, I'm now Chelsea. I'm like,
Hmm.
when did you guys even hear Chelsea? Do you know
Chelsea, yep.
Chelsea
Hmm.
before Mourinho? Did you know they had all these like Zola and all of them? Do you know the kind of players,
Hmm.
McManaman a little bit, and all those other players? Do you know the Chelsea? They'll be like, no, no, yeah, we don't care. We are still Chelsea. So at
It's
that
still
point,
Chelsea. That's
I
true.
didn't like Chelsea. So that
That's
little
true.
rivalry,
Yeah,
I was
yep,
I
yep.
was I love Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho is my man. I don't like Messi, but
Ooh,
Ronaldinho is my
Ronaldinho,
man.
man.
Yeah,
It's
which
funny
one?
because people think people when I say I've been a Barca fan for a long time, they think I became a Barca fan because of Ronaldinho, but I actually became a Barca fan a couple of years before Ronaldinho came. Patrick Kluivert,
When
Patrick Kluivert
Clivert
is the
and
reason why. Yeah,
yeah,
I saw him play in Euro 2000.
2000,
Netherlands hosted that,
2000 Netherlands.
and they played this game against Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia,
Yeah,
and they beat them 6-0. And Climate was on fire, and I was
yeah.
like, I like this guy. Whatever team he plays for, I'll support them. So when the
Okay.
season started, and Kwabena Boa showed sports highlights, and I saw Clivert and Rivaldo in Barca. I'm like, oh, they play for Barca. I'm gonna be a Barca fan. So that's why I became a Barca fan. So yeah,
That time,
that was in like
that
2000, 2001. Yep.
yeah, yeah. They had a good team back there. I think they
Mm-hmm.
had Ronaldo for a short stint, R9, and
I
they
know. Yep.
had
Yep.
was it Gullet? They had a couple of some nice
They
players.
had Julie was Messi was Julie's understudy actually. That was when Rijkaard came,
Okay.
when we had Ronaldinho, and then we had Eto'o, and then Julie. We had Julie. We had like Thiago Motta, who coaches Juventus now. We had Zambrotta. We had
Yeah,
Lilian
Zambrotta, that's
Thuram.
when
So
Eto'o and them
yeah.
were there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Uh, yeah, to Hala Madrid. So before we go to the next game, an incident happened in the Madrid game that leading to the third goal. Hendrick,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
kind of courage that on a counter attack you have Mbappe. He had Vinicius on the right, Mbappe to his left, and he opted to shoot. As soon as he took the shot, I'm like, what is he do? Like, it was a bad option, even though he scored. I don't know what you think. I feel like it was a bad option, and the keeper could have easily saved that if he wasn't pedaling.
So it's one of those things where we say, okay, the ball went in, so that's a golazo, right? Um, in a different situation where it doesn't go in, then we're gonna come for his head. But it like the ball did go in, and he's a striker. Strikers always think about scoring first before they think about passing. Lewandowski is a big evidence of that. Lewandowski always thinks about scoring before passing. So he was this was his first Champions League game at a new team. He wanted to announce himself, and fortunately for him, the ball went in. I think he should have passed the ball, but hey, the ball went in. We can't chastise the kid too much. The ball did go in. I can tell you something similar happened in the Barcelona game. Um,
Yeah,
Honestly, Lamine Yamal's goal,
yeah.
Lewandowski was in a better position to score, but hey, he took the shot and he scored. So
Let's go. Okay.
yeah,
Well, then let's go to Barca, and I'll just go on ahead since we're talking about them. So I
yeah.
I
So,
feel a bit not not a bit sad for Barca, but I think although rules are rules, it was a goal scoring opportunity, but the rule says also otherwise, he wasn't the last man at the point of the tackling.
He actually was.
He was, because
Yep, he was the
I
last
felt
man.
that the angle, like even if he had gone through, it was going to be tight because Stegen, and then there
So
was two players coming back in the play.
the sad part is that when Minamino takes the ball from Eric Garcia, right?
Garcia.
Minamino actually, the way he takes the ball, Eric Garcia was going to fall down, and unfortunately, Eric Garcia fell on him.
On
Eric
his,
Garcia didn't actually try to tackle him. If you watch the replay, Eric
yeah,
Garcia didn't try to tackle him. He fell on him, and Minamino tripped. So the referee interpreted that as he's impeded him, which is true. Anywhere on the field, that's still a foul. My issue with that is that Ter Stegen, people keep blaming Eric Garcia that he moved too quickly and didn't anticipate the pass. He
no,
anticipated
no,
he anticipated the pass. He actually asked for the ball initially. Ter
the pass
Stegen
came
took
late.
another touch, and then Eric Garcia looked over his shoulder, saw that Minamino was closing him down, and then decided to move to the left to create space. And that is when Ter Stegen decides to pass the ball. Honestly, sometimes I try to refrain from criticizing Ter Stegen, but come on, you've been in Barca for almost 10 years. You shouldn't be making this mistake. The both three all three incidents, the two goals and the red card is squarely on Ter Stegen. First of all, you are facing the player. You can always tell who is behind the player. He asks for the ball. You don't pass the ball to him. And when you watch the replay, Inigo Martinez was to his left, who was free, could have released the ball to him or go long.
Yeah,
What does Ter Stegen do? Decides to pass the ball. When two players are closing Eric Garcia down, Garcia is not your typical DM. He's just learning that position.
position.
He's not your Busquets who knows how to play out of pressure. We've all played the football before. We know the capabilities of our
Yeah,
teammates. We sometimes this player, if I send a long ball, he's able to
he's
receive it.
gonna go get
This
it.
player, he's not good at long ball, have to send it, like on the turf. We all know the strengths and the weaknesses of our teammates. And Ter Stegen being one of the senior guys and the captain at such, he really needs to do better. It's unfortunate, but I feel like Barca is not going to win a Champions League with him as a keeper.
I think um, I agree with you, and a similar thing was what happened with De Gea before United let him go when he was making a series of mistakes. I think there was a similar thing he did. It's okay, that's your style, playing from the back. But also, when I coached and when I used to be coached, when I was coaching, I used to tell the players, play the way you face, just so you are able to see what's in front of you.
In front of you,
Because
yep.
even with a scan, and sometimes somebody can still pop out of nowhere. But if you're not comfortable, just play the way. And it gives, and he saw it develop. He
He
saw
saw it. He saw
Minamino
he saw the
closing him
play.
down. So
Yeah, he
at that
saw.
point, when he took that extra touch. I was expecting him to avoid going to Garcia. I thought he was
Go
going to
exactly.
just get under the ball to the right
He he
right
gets
back.
carried away, and he actually annoyed me because the post-match interview, he kind of subliminally blamed Eric Garcia, where he says that he feels bad for Eric. No,
Really,
it's on you. Yeah, he said he feels bad for Eric for the red card. It was a miscommunication between them. No, it wasn't.
it
You
wasn't.
saw the play.
Yeah,
You made a mistake, and Eric Garcia unfortunately took the fall for it. And everybody's going to be pointing the finger at Eric, but unfortunately, this wasn't on him. And Ter Stegen gets beat at his near post for the first goal. How many times does Ter Stegen gets beat at his near post? Over and over and over and over. It doesn't stop. And at Anfield in 2019, all four goals were his fault. I don't blame anybody. I blame him. Could have saved at least two of those goals. In Rome in 2018, three goals, all his fault. Well, he couldn't have saved the penalty, but the first goal and the very last goal, dude didn't even move, and it annoys me. And for years, he doesn't have competition. That is the thing. He's
yeah,
good with his feet, which
yes.
is great.
I was gonna say
He
that. It makes Barcelona miss Valdez, but this guy doesn't have a
You
competition.
know, sometimes I go back and I watch our 2006 Champions League final against Arsenal, and and Valdez, I think Valdez and Thierry Henry met like on like 1v1 like 4 times, and Valdez, the way Valdez comes out, it like Henry had no way to play the ball.
That was his
Ter
strong suit.
Stegen
Valdez one on
Ter
one was
Stegen
really good.
doesn't dive. Ter Stegen doesn't dive, and to win trophies, to win championships, you need a great keeper. Mikel Arteta had Ramsdale. Ramsdale was doing great. I think Ramsdale is a great keeper,
He's a
but
good
Arteta
keeper.
said no.
I was surprised when he put him out.
Right. Sometimes you have to be brutal. Um, Pep Guardiola came to City. Joe Hart, who was a team captain, he told him, "The way I want to play, you don't fit it. You need to go." Why hasn't any Barca coach gotten rid of Ter Stegen? Why is Ter Stegen still there? And to make matters worse, he's a captain. His contract runs out in 2028. Exactly.
Guys are stuck with
He
him
gets
for a
beat.
while.
He
So
gets beat at his
overall,
near post all the time.
what do you think of the Barca performance? I know with the record and all. What do you think
I
about it?
think I think this was a mature performance, even though we lost. The team didn't fall apart, which was very good because um, besides the first goal, where I think Balde could have done better, it was still a shock. The red card had just happened. It was still a shock, but I think they competed well. We still lost some balls in transition, which is okay because we're one man down. Even the goal that the second goal, it was Lewandowski and Rafinha was a miscommunication. Salisu got the ball, he passed to the midfield, and then they sent that long ball.
A long
And
ball.
once again, Ter Stegen could have done better, pointed that ball into his own net. But I think it was a mature performance. The team didn't fall apart, as I said, and that's very important. And I think the coach has made them believe that even with a man down they can still
Still,
go ahead and do better. Um, and towards the end of the game, you could see that he was trying to do damage control when he brought in a couple of defenders because this new format, goal difference is going to matter.
it
Trust
is.
me,
It is gonna come
goal
down to
difference is
goals for some teams. Yeah.
go. Yep. So it was imperative that Barca didn't concede like a third goal, which so I think the 2-1 because of the red card is fair. We accepted. I am a sore loser, so I was angry all evening. But hey, life goes on. We still have young boys at home. We have Bayern at home. Hoping that Gavi and Frankie will be back by then. We have Dortmund away in December, and then we have Atlanta at home. We have Benfica away in January. Arroyo, Christensen, all of them will be back. Danny Olmo will be back for the Bayern and Young Boys game. So um, our coach after the game said that he still believes he will qualify. Didn't try to blame anybody. Didn't have an outburst, which I like that because and he said the players were sad in the dressing room, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It means that they feel like they could have done better, which is
Yeah.
a good thing. So attention turns to Villarreal on Sunday. We are hoping that by Getafe and by when we play Osasuna,
So
we
soon.
would have Olmo and Fermin and all those guys back. So I was pissed that we lost, but I was happy with the performance. Let me put it that way. Still need to get rid of Ter Stegen though. They need to ship him to China.
One player that I feel for is Fermin Lopez as well. I think for him
Yeah.
is like what happened to Pedri last season. Is the
Yep.
wear and tear.
Hmm.
He's played a lot of games.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
an
Yep.
interesting player. I saw him
Oh,
in
I
the
love him.
youth team. I watched the UEFA Youth League
Champions League.
Champions League. Yeah, he's I like him. He's
I,
one
I
player
love
who
that kid.
he has heart and he's undeterred
Yes.
by whoever is he's facing. I like him.
Just imagine him and Gavi pressing down on opponents in the 60th minute. Oh man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And Gavi has started training with the first team. Frankie has started training with the first team as well. They Gavi can play now, but the coach wants to be very conservative. I think they are hoping to bring him back after the next international break,
Break.
which coincides with us playing Bayern, which is good. So um,
It's
which is
gonna be
good. Yeah,
interesting. It's gonna be
it's gonna
interesting.
be
Uh, uh um
one game. one game that I wanted to talk about real quick before you bring another game up is the City versus
That was
Inter
what I
game.
was coming to. Man City and Inter.
Okay, okay,
I I
yeah.
I, I
Um,
think it was a game of cat and mouse, like tactics wise.
people, I don't know where people got that perception. I don't know what type of game people watch, but I saw on social media people were saying Inter packed the bus. Inter
Inter
didn't pack
never
the
packed
bus.
the bus.
It was the last 10 minutes where they were getting tired that they got compact. But
Yes,
people always think that closing. Remember, I told you Italian teams are hard to play against,
they
and
are hard to play against, and
I
they
told you
created more
that
chances to me than City.
exactly. And I told you before that Inter is a well-drilled team. They are building something at Inter Milan,
Yes,
and you could see. I think Thuram could have done better with all those chances. Honestly, he missed a lot of chances, but between the two teams, they had the better opportunities. And once again, Haaland disappeared
in a big game.
in the top game. Like in a big game, and people keep saying he doesn't need to drop. He just needs to stay up and tap in and be a menace to defenders. But hey, Eto, the big strikers, Suarez, the Etos, the Van Nistelrooys, the Thierry Henrys. If it wasn't going their way, like on a night, they would drop deep. They'll go to the wing. They'll try to find space. They'll try to make something happen. And honestly, I think City had, in terms of clear cut opportunity, they had probably two or three. And that was towards the end of the game when Inter was getting tired. I think Inter should have won that game, to be honest. I think Inter should have won that game, but once again, it's coming down to the players have played a lot of games. Rodri played almost every game last season, went to the Euros, played almost every game. Now he's back playing for City. They have that Club World Cup at the end of the summer, at the end of the season next summer. So it's too many games, and quality is going to suffer.
Yeah,
But one thing that I feel for City though is that because of the new format, you get to play 4 home games and 4 away games. Now, because they failed to win their first home game, now they are left with only 3 home games. And the rest of their games is their other 4 games is away against PSG. They are playing PSG, I think, in Parc des Princes. So that's going to be like a tough game for them. So, but once again, like I mentioned earlier, I still believe Madrid and City are the favorites for this UCL.
obviously, definitely, I agree. And I'll come back to we come back to Inter before we end the show.
Okay.
I feel like they really they and even the chance with Damian.
Yeah.
It still baffles me today.
Simeone,
Today I watch it like
Simeone. I was screaming. I was sitting here in my office. I have a TV here in my office, and I was screaming out, and then they put in the coach, and the coach was annoyed, and I was
he
like, dude,
was going,
just take a shot. Just take a
please
shot.
just take a shot. Ah,
Just take a
okay,
shot. Yeah.
uh, he's a defender, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But that was a terrible decision making and
Very.
a bad back heel to do a cutback. Last game I want us to look at among all the game Milan Liverpool.
Yeah.
It
I
was
also
a
watched that
game
game
that
too.
was. It started as soon as Milan got a goal. I was like, okay, we got ourselves a good one here. But I think Liverpool just took over.
Yes. So I watched that game. First of all, Rafael Leao, the Rafael Leao that I saw last season, the Rafael Leao that I saw in Baltimore against Barcelona, he was a shadow of himself in that game. He let his team down. He didn't show up as the man of the moment. Pulisic, besides the goal that he scored, he didn't find a lot of spaces behind Tsimikas. Um, which was interesting because Liverpool presses really hard. So you would think that Pulisic, with his speed and and his smart movements, would find spaces. But I think the coach Paulo Fonseca, I think he got some of his tactics wrong. I think starting Morata was the wrong call. I think he probably thought that Morata is physical. He's good in the air, and he could match Konate and Van Dijk boot for boot, but I would have gone with Tammy Abraham, to be honest. He's smart. He moves very well, and I think he would have complemented Rafael Leao and Pulisic and Loftus-Cheek behind him. But Liverpool kind of started slowly. They started on the wrong foot, but when they got into the game, they got into their rhythm. That was when Milan started to have a lot of issues. Salah hit the post twice in the space of
Twice.
5 minutes, and it was very frustrating. Um, but one thing that Liverpool is always good at is set pieces, and they made it count. The equalizer through a free kick, which was very unnecessary. And I keep saying this. I don't know why players always think that it's okay to make some terrible tackles around their third, you know, their final third, and that was a great delivery from Trent. The second goal, Van Dijk, a corner kick, did great. Milan's goalkeeper hurt himself, so that took him out. And then the young guy who's 18 came on and considered the third goal. So I was expecting Milan to fight more. I was expecting them to do better, but I don't know. The Liverpool was too strong for them. I think Hannah Slot is doing well. Is doing well with his team.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was Liverpool. I knew we were gonna come strong after losing um the weekend game to
For the
Nottingham
weekend.
Forest.
Yep.
But
That's
being
Forest.
the game being at San Siro, I expected AC to come also strong.
Me
And
too.
after they got the goal, I thought, okay, we're gonna have ourselves a game. And like you said, the pieces in Milan that didn't come out to play, Leao, for once, I think didn't help. I saw online people criticizing him so much, calling him a waste of talent and all of this. He's one player I think doesn't know what he has yet. I think he sometimes just okay, today I want to play, today I don't want to play. He's that kind of player, but he's really talented. And
Very,
when he
very,
turns, even with Portugal, when he goes to I think he's lazy to me in Portugal. Like I don't see the layout and AC Milan when he's at Portugal. It's just on and off with him. So I think that
he is I think I think Paulo Fonseca is too nice of a coach for him. I think it's Stefan Pioli, their coach from last
yeah,
season. I think he was tough on him, and last season he showed up in the most crucial moments. Leao has a lot of talent, and like you said, I think sometimes he doesn't realize what he has. Even when I watched him against Barca in Baltimore during preseason, dude, like the ability, he'll pick up the ball and he'll just you know dude, like he's a very good player. And I understand why the top teams want him, but he needs to show more for the
yes,
top teams to pay the big bucks for him. And on the night, I think there was an incident where he made a silly challenge and he threw the ball away, and then the referee was talking to him, and he was just laughing. I'm like, dude, your team is down 2-1,
3-1.
and you're just laughing. Like,
He's on
are you
serious
not
summons.
reading? Are you not like reading the room? So I think he needs a coach. Some players needs a coach to wrap their arms around them. Some players need tough love, and I think Liao is going to be one of those players that needs a tough love.
All right. Overall, I think it was a very great first round of games. Match day one didn't
Yes.
disappoint. I think Dortmund, the German teams, I think almost all of them won except Stuttgart. Dortmund and
Leipzig,
Leverkusen.
Leipzig lost too.
Oh, Leipzig also, yeah. Leipzig lost today to Atletico. Dortmund and
Atletico
Leverkusen
Madrid.
enjoyed the big win, 3-0 and 4-0. I
Yeah.
think um, it was a very good first round of games. I hope the second match day is gonna also come with some interesting games. More games for us football fans, like I said. Now, before we go, I want us to look at the weekend coming up, and not all the games. I just um, two games. But before I go to two games, um, Manchester United, 2 games, 10 goals. Do you think we're back?
I think it's too early to say, but I think those two wins are good for both ways are good for the team. It is good for confidence. It is good for momentum. But honestly, winning against Barnsley, really winning 7-0 against Barnsley at Old Trafford, you cannot really make a lot out of it. And to be honest, I'm going to compare it to when Barca beat Valladolid. 7-0. I was happy as a Barca fan, but I kept telling myself that it's only Valladolid, right?
It's only
And
Valladolid.
if we're able to beat Girona, then I can be like, okay, we are slowly coming back. And then when we beat Girona, I was like, okay, Hansi Flick is not a fluke. So and I'm not saying that I'm not taking anything away from that performance, to be honest. But it was against Barnsley. The big players were able to get some goals in to build their confidence. So I hope I hope that they translate that form or that confidence into their next games. But the Southampton game, Southampton had a penalty which, if they had scored, could have really changed the game.
Yeah.
Southampton has been struggling. They went to relegation. They came back. I think they are still struggling. I think they've got their recruitment strategy wrong again. There was a period where they got it wrong. They went to relegation, stayed in Championship and League One for a long time. They fixed it. They came back, and then I think they've like retrogressed again. And it's actually one of the things that I tip them to go back. To be honest,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
but once again, Saint Saint Mary's is never an easy place to go.
Place to
So
go to.
winning 3-0 over there. Actually, I was gonna watch that game. I think was the 7 a.m. game last
Yeah,
weekend. I was gonna
7
watch it. I woke up. I saw it on my phone that United was leading. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna watch it.
Ah, you should have still forward it.
But
Okay. All right.
but yeah, I think those two wins is good. Is good for morale. It's good
It's
for
good for
confidence. So
their morale
hopefully,
booster. I
yeah,
agree too. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we back yet. I think it's like I said the last time. I think we got away with the Southampton game. If they had scored the penalty, would have been a different game. I didn't count Onana to as a penalty saver, but you never know. He did come through for us, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay. I hope to see how Rashford and Anthony, especially for those two, I want them to
Mhm.
pick their talent up. They got more to offer than they're given right now, and yeah, especially Rashford. Okay, so the two games I want us to look at and then we wrap
Mhm.
up. The first one is the Arsenal Man City game. I think they are the two favorites to win the Premiership. And if
Right.
Arsenal is gonna get
Um,
over the hump of winning the Premier League the past 3 seasons, I think this is a game they need to come hard after not a very good performance today against Atalanta. So what do you think? Man City Arsenal.
so I think 0-0 against Atalanta is very respectable. Remember, I mentioned to you that Atalanta is not a walkover; they're not a pushover.
Another Italian team.
However, right, Italian teams once again. But Arsenal has never won the Champions League. Mikel Arteta knows that it's an uphill task to win the Champions League. He's focused. He's not going to say it in public. Nobody from Arsenal is going to say it in public, but Arsenal would rather exit the Champions League if it means that they're going to win the EPL. So I'm pretty sure he went into today's game with one eye on the game against City. Um, Last season was the first time that Arsenal beat City in, I think, in 14 attempts. Actually, don't remember the statistics, but basically they have one win in like 15 meetings.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think last season City once again they didn't have a good early season form, which kind of played into Arsenal's hand. And then the return leg, Arsenal went for like that like defensive structure, and then they got that 1 point. This game is going to be at the Emirates, right?
Yeah.
I really like having looked. I
Yeah.
think I think Guardiola has this like philosophy of once bitten, twice shy. He knows what happened last season, so this season he's gonna be smarter. He's gonna
The
set
game
up
is
his.
gonna be at Etihad.
The game's gonna be at Etihad.
Yeah.
It's too early for Arteta to go and play like defensive game, but we will see. I think City should do enough to win. It's gonna be a close game. Obviously, Mikel Arteta knows Pep Guardiola. They work together. He knows his tactics, but City has not hit the ground running. To be honest, I feel like they're still struggling a little bit. KDB is injured. He's not going to be available for that game, but they have Foden. They have Foden to play. They have Gundogan, who brings experience and calmness. So I think I think City would just edge Arsenal like in that game. It's still going to be like it's going to be a tight game. Maybe one goal margin, maybe a 2-1, or at best for City maybe a 3-1. But Arsenal's best in that game would be a draw, unless they go in and surprise everybody.
Okay. Okay. The last game, the San Siro Classico, Inter AC Milan. That's why I said we're gonna come back to Inter. I think their performance against City was good, and he's really has drilled his team. They were unlucky with their strike force. I'll put it that way because I felt like Thuram should have done better with some of the chances that came his way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And AC Milan coming off this loss, they felt they started the game right and losing to Liverpool like in that manner. What do you think of those two clashing in San Siro this weekend?
So the Milan derby or
Yeah,
derby de Milano is never predictable. It's the typical game where it doesn't follow form guide, right? It's you remember when we're in Ghana, we say Kotokoenha doesn't follow like
four,
form guide.
four, four
The
Moses.
Milan derby, Milan derby, it doesn't matter who is on form. Whoever shows up on the day wins it. I think many years ago there was a like a derby game where um I think it was Inter. Inter was on form. They were beating everybody. AC was struggling, and then they met and AC beat AC. I mean, and Milan beat Inter 4-0, and everybody was like, "Oh, what happened?" So, um, Inter is a well drilled team. I'm honestly impressed with the way they are playing. They've they've played that same tactics over and over and over. They know how they are playing. Bastoni in defense. Um, Damien, playing well. They have Nico Barella doing amazing like in midfield. And I'm expecting Lautaro to start to start during this weekend. It's probably gonna partner like Turam. So I think if they get their scoring boots on, they should be able to trouble like Milan. But don't count Milan out, right? Is the Milan derby. So
Exactly.
hey, anything can happen. But I still think Inter might just win it.
All right. Thank you so much, and I look forward to our next session. And hopefully after the weekend, if everything goes to plan, we see if we could meet again and discuss the weekend's game, man. But
Absolutely.
I appreciate you one more time, Nesta. Thank you, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of your weekend. The weekend games coming up. Have a good
Thank
one,
you.
bro.
And I hope you enjoy your weekend as well. Thank you for inviting me.
I hope I hope United doesn't disappoint me.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I mean, Barca is playing Villarreal, so and we are going to Estadio de Ceramica, de la Ceramica. I think that's the name
Ceramica.
of their stadium. So I like playing Villarreal. There are some teams in Spain that I really like when Barca play them, even though it's tough games.
Mm-hmm.
Villarreal is one of those teams. Real Betis is one of those teams. Real Sociedad is
Yeah.
is another team because they don't defend. They open up. They want to play, and it's so beautiful when we play those teams. But when we play against like Osasuna and those guys, they put 10 players behind the ball, and it's so hard to break them down. So
We'll
I'm
see
looking forward to that game. I'm
if the
looking forward to
yellow
that game.
submarine will come soaring, or the Catalans.
They actually beat Barca last season at Estadio Olimpico. I think it was 5-2.
Yeah.
Once again, Ter Stegen cost us that
I was
game.
about to say Ter Stegen's missed
Ter
error
Stegen cost us like two of those
last
goals, and
season.
then Cancelo also cost us. So man, Barca need to get rid of Ter Stegen, man. I honestly, like Courtois saves Madrid all the time. Courtois saves Madrid all the time. Big teams they need their keep. Today,
Keeper.
Raya basically was the game changer for Arsenal.
Arsenal too.
Otherwise,
That double penalty
like
save,
Atlanta. Yep.
I was impressed.
So
I haven't seen saves of that in a while. Like
Yeah.
the agility to get up and make that second save.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
impressed.
Hmm.
But to
Yep.
stay again, man.
That guy.
I know because I have a lot of
I'm honestly not. He's terrible. He doesn't command his area. Doesn't come out for set pieces. When he does come out, he's nowhere to be found. I feel like when I played Colts before I switched to being a defender, I was actually a goalkeeper. Everybody in Brooklyn State will tell you they used to call me Bates,
but
and yeah, they used to call me like Bates after the French goalkeeper,
yeah, Fabian
Fabien
Barthez.
Barthez. So, I tend not to criticize goalkeepers because I know that the position
Yeah.
is a tricky position. But come on, you have to command your area. You have to be a little crazy, and Valdez was a little crazy.
Yeah.
And I think with Barca style of play, the goalkeepers are almost always exposed, so the keeper himself has to be crazy. And I think Ter Stegen is not crazy enough, and teams know that,
Yeah.
and it keeps coming back and biting Barca. And I think somebody needs to make a change. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Flick, because they are both from Germany, so that kind of thing going on. So yeah, we'll see.
You see, all right. Thank you, brother.
All
I
right,
hope to
man.
get more knowledge from
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us once again. This was Sam's Corner, and this is a review of match day one of the Champions League. And we were grateful to have my brother Nesta with me today as we break down the the games. We stay tuned with us for more episodes of Sam's Corner, and then our new segment by the pitch side, which is coming up soon with pitch side stories of various um, local pickup players and very interesting ones. Again, shout out to my man, Professor Prophet Agabus. Shout out to you, bro. Man, shout out to my man Prince. Shout out to shout out to my bro from the same mother, Cosby. I know you're bleeding because Barca lost today, but shedding why? I mean, count. I mean, shedding. I mean, shedding. Uh, hopefully, joy comes on the weekend for you against Villarreal. Um, my brother Nana, I think this time around, AC, you guys enjoy the win. So you all stay safe. And if you are in the DMV, guys, and you are looking for a local bar for your event, look no further than Ma Roots Local Bar. You can reach her on 571 Ma Roots Local Bar for your engagement, for your weddings, funerals, baby showers. She has a lot of varieties, and you can also check her out on Instagram at Maruch Catering Services. Anywhere in the DMV, the best local bar that you can have is Maruch Local Bar. Speak of the local drinks, Sobolo, Mudro, Lamuji, uh, Oluweno. She has it all. Every soup, got the cake, chips, and all other local stuff. If you're looking for any local bar, yes. Okay, that's the end of our show today. And thank you all for staying with us. We look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you all and have a nice weekend.